What's up, Giga fam? I'm going to give you the absolute best tips and tricks to unlock the beautiful Apocalypse Warzone Mastery Camo as quickly and efficiently as possible. Nobody is doing it more efficiently than me, I promise. Right now, I'm less than 20 hours into the grind. I have 22 guns, Golden Damascus, 5 Starglass, and I've got about 5 guns that are right on the precipice of being gold as well. So we are well on our way. I'm smashing 40 elims per game. Virtually all those are counting toward camos. And I'm going to show you guys how to be this efficient. But first, smash that like button. It helps me out so much. If you don't, I'll find you. Subscribe with notifications on if you're new around here. We would love to have you in the Giga fam, where it's about you. It ain't about me. And let's get into it. By the way, this video is just to kind of jumpstart you guys' camo grind. As soon as I finish the camo, I will get hard at work on a more kind of comprehensive, organized guide. I've had a ton of requests to do a video like this in the meantime. So first thing is the order of the guns. I think this is the most important thing to make it as efficient as possible. So you want to pick guns that are not readily available either when you drop in or as ground loot. So certainly avoid like the Jaeger pistol, for example, because you literally drop in with it. So like if you were to do 29 other guns, by the time you got to the Jaeger, it would probably be done with military camos, just the 100 elims. Dravik 45, if you die, which eventually you will, sometimes you drop back in with that. It's also readily available in ground loot. So get a feel for guns that aren't readily available in ground loot. The next thing, especially if you're prestiging as you play, focus on guns that are near the bottom of the list, right? Guns that you unlock last as you level up. The reason for this is you're only going to have a limited number of permanent unlock tokens, and you don't want to end up in a situation where you prestige and the last gun you need to unlock the next batch of camos is currently unusable until you level up, and then you're going to have dead time where you're leveling your account before you can use that gun. So first priority is guns that aren't readily available in ground loot. Second priority is going to be guns that are unlocked later. And the last priority is going to be organizing it where you're never using 2 horrible guns at a time, right? So we have access to overkill, so you can run 2 loadout guns at a time. You want to organize it where you run at least 1 strong gun at all times. And the reason for this is you're going to run into teams that are pretty sweaty. They're trying to run meta, and you're going to need something to defend yourself with, right? That's going to be really, really, really hard to do if you're running crappy guns. So, you know, this is kind of getting into the weeds, but I would recommend at least trying to fit in 1 strong gun with a weak gun. If you need to know the meta, what guns are strong, I just kind of broke down the meta statistically yesterday on my channel, so you can check out that video. But it's pretty self-explanatory what guns are at least halfway decent. Usually like an SMG or an AR, and you want to pair that with some of these specialty guns that are really bad. Examples of guns that are like really, really bad would be like the Warden. And I kind of recommend doing a gun like the Warden or the Nova line early. They're not really accessible in ground loot for one, and you just kind of want to get it out of the way because it's a bit of a slog. And then that would be a good candidate to pair with something like the Carbon, because the Carbon is unlocked a little bit later. It's really strong, and it is not accessible in ground loot. So that'd be a good one to start with. Go Carbon with like a Nova line or Warden. Okay. And then as you get a feel for, oh, I'm gravitating to the Kogot off the ground, save that for last, right? Certainly save some of these other ones for last, like the Jaeger, as we discussed. So that's something to think about with how you organize it. It will save you potentially like a dozen hours if you organize it well. It's really, really important, guys. Most of the special camos are very self-explanatory, but people have struggled with the sliding kills. Luckily, you only have to get a few of them. But what I can recommend is just make sure you got to break your muscle memory a little bit. You're not spamming slide cancels. It seems that slide cancel is what is causing it to not track for people. So you kind of just ride out that whole slide, and it seems that you even get a little bit of a buffer after the end of it. So what I usually will do is I'll kind of like tag the enemy get them hurt, and then I'll go in for that slide kill while they're not only plates broken, but maybe a few hit markers after that, right? And that will make those slide kills go pretty easily. The rest of them are going to be self-explanatory. By the way, I do have a spreadsheet you can use, which I'll link down in the description. It's on codmunity.gg. It's a really, really nice kind of way to keep up with your camos. I've accessed it. You obviously want to track in-game as well, but as you bang out camos and you want to maximize your time in the lobby, it's nice to have your phone or up on another monitor your spreadsheet so that you can kind of keep track of, oh, I finished this loadout gun. I can grab this other loadout I set up, or I still need this ground loot one, or pick up a gun off someone you kill, and you can just maximize your efficiency that way. So it's pretty much a no-brainer that you should be running casuals, right? Like, it's just free kills on those bots, and it's going to enable you to get kills on guns that aren't as strong. So I'm a high skill player. I think I averaged 27 elims per game in Resurgence on BO6 Warzone. That was regular Resurgence, not casual. In casuals, I'm averaging about 40 elims per game. So you could see the difference. And that's also me running a bunch of off-meta stuff. Like, usually when I was playing pubs, I was running strong guns. There's up to like a 1.5 to double the elims per hour running casuals. So it's a no-brainer. Some people have suggested, hey, in BR, I drop an extra 5 kills per game versus Resurgence. But it's like, Resurgence is a faster map, right? So even if it's only 5 minutes shorter, when you have to play hundreds of games to unlock this camo, that's going to really add up. So I recommend Resurgence casuals. As I showed you guys, that's the only thing I've been playing. I literally have not touched anything else because the first order of business for me is to bang out this camo. So in under 20 hours, we have dropped over 3,500 elims. So pretty wild. As far as elims, the way that kills will work to count toward camo progress is whatever your last bullet that hit that player before they got downed, either you were the one that downed them or another player. And then obviously the target has to get thirsted. How they get thirsted does not matter. Thirst being the cleanup, right, on the downed target. They have to get cleaned up, but it doesn't matter how they get cleaned up. So just keep that in mind. If you want to play with squad fill on, that's okay. You know, if you get at least taps on a target, it will count toward your camo progress. If you want to run combat axes to clean up, that's good too. It really helps with kind of ammo efficiency on some of these guns that just have diabolically bad damage per mag. But for me personally, I recommend turning squad fill off if you are probably like a 2 KD in regular lobbies or above. Just because, yeah, it's kind of nice to have those extra players, but you automatically respawn and don't have to worry about wiping if you're by yourself. And they will sort of wipe teams, and like, yeah, you could get taps, but sometimes they're going to shoot at targets and you won't have a chance to get taps on them. And I would just rather not have all that extra stuff to worry about. I feel like I can average much more elims just dropping in on my own. It's a bummer if I get stacked on by like weird iridescent sweats that are running like meta guns, but it kind of just is what it is. And in the grand scheme, those are kind of rare events and it's not going to happen that often. Very important is going to be your loadout, guys. Do not run lethals that are going to like steal your kills, right? There's no reason to run semtexes or frags. Like, those are just going to take kills that could go toward your camos. So I like combat axes just for quick cleanups, and it really helps on guns that have bad damage per mag. And there's a lot of them in this game. I like smokes just to kind of help me reposition and get out of bad situations. You could go whatever you want here. I recommend skipping launchers and doing melees. And the reason for this is because melee is always on your person, right? So when you kind of have situations where it's like a bot, you're going to get a free kill, maybe an AFK player. As you're working toward those other camos for the 28 other guns, you can start whittling away at the melee kills. The other thing is that launchers, the arc launcher is awful. I've had situations where I direct impact them and it's not even a one shot. So it's really, really bad. And melee isn't that bad in casuals. You know, I really like launchers. Another thing though is like, if you want the camo for the launchers, like obviously that's going to dictate your decision. But the argument against that is, hey, you always have melees, so you kind of want cool camos for your melees. So that's my suggestion, is skip launchers. But if you want to skip melee, that's understandable. As far as perks, I recommend scavenger, just because you're going to be getting a lot of elims. You need to be playing with high pace. Scavenger is really valuable on people that get a lot of kills. That's why I really like it for pub stomping. Regular lobbies, I drop a lot of kills. I get a lot of value out of scavenger. And this would apply to everyone, regardless of skill level, for this camo grind in Resurgence Casuals. You're just going to help you stay refreshed. You're constantly going to be replenishing. It's really, really good. Sprinter, I like a little bit better than Quick Fix, just because I feel like Quick Fix more so helps me in actually difficult fights when I'm trying to 1v4 a good squad. But in this, I'm really just trying to keep my pace up really high, my elims per hour, and my rotations. I want everything to be faster. And Sprinter does help in fights as well. So yeah, while I might blow a 1v4 endgame, in the grand scheme, just having a faster pacing with Sprinter, I find more valuable. So I recommend Sprinter perk 2, but you could go Quick Fix if you're struggling to win your engagements. But if you're kind of dominating, I recommend Sprinter. Tempered is a no-brainer for this camo grind, guys. Yeah, there's some other cool new perk 3s, maybe in more competitive environment, but for sheer camo grind, we gotta have fast actions per minute. You're gonna see when I kind of show off some of the stuff in the gameplay, there's like chaos going around you while you're farming. You're gonna have enemy players third partying. You're gonna have tons of bots around. You will be taking damage constantly. You want to be putting herd out. You don't want to be plating. You also will run into plate efficiency issues if you don't have tempered. So tempered, best perk in the game for this camo grind. Definitely make sure you're using it. So those tips and tricks will only get you so far. Obviously, they're great to know, help your efficiency a little bit. But at the end of the day, the way you're going to get this camo grind done fast is to drop a ton of elims per game and make sure they're all counting toward camos. The best way for me to kind of show you how I go about doing that in terms of drop strategy, rotations, setting up farms, dealing with enemy players, is just going to do a gameplay walkthrough. So this was a quiet drop. Normally there's a squad of bots that lands here. Just randomly didn't happen this game. It happens sometimes. And I'll usually set up like knife kills or Jaeger kills on that team. I won't go into mansion. There's just too much surface area for people to hide. And I'll usually come out of here with like 8 kills and loadout. And a lot of those kills will be going toward guns that aren't very good. So that's really helpful. That's kind of the ground loot phase of the game. For whatever reason, this drop, it's really quiet. Probably because it's kind of a weird circle. It's going like to the deep southeast of the map. Doesn't usually pull like that, but all good. And then, you know, like this guy, we could grab a knife kill on him because it's obviously a bot. And that factors into why I say skip launchers instead of skip melees. Wow, that's obnoxious. Bots are killing each other. Over here is fine. You can kind of defend yourself from third party, but if you do set up farms in here, you gotta be really wary not to get too greedy about it, because you'll get third partied from players in mansion or like anywhere they could be pulling up, and it's not really very defensible. Throw my loadout out and still get a few more cheeky farms. Watch for prox chat as well, because that'll tell you enemy players are there. Maybe don't get greedy with like going for knife kills when you identify real players might be around. Poor guys going for knife kills. Feels bad, man. And always try to wipe enemy players. Like, I'll play for farms a lot in regular pubs against bad players, but any real player should be wiped on this, because bots are where the real farm is at. So that's my recommendation for that. As far as where to rotate, I tend to stay out of Main Street or inside big structures like Research Center or, as we discussed, Mansion. There's just too much surface area for enemy players to hide, and that's where enemy players like to go. They play really sneaky and hidey and ratty. So I like to stick to kind of open areas. In between POIs, pond. This area we've already talked about, and barn. I will row into train station is totally cool. I've had farms in Main Street, not saying you can't. But yeah, it's just not going to be as many kind of kills per hour. Trying to finish gold really quick on this ride-in just because it's going to open up Starglass on all my SMGs, which will be really nice. That should be gold, actually. Yeah, because I'm on Starglass now for it. Real players riding Storm. We'll try to wipe them. That circle is moving. I think there's more than one enemy, actual enemy squad. So the Raiden is a gun that's regularly in ground loots. Now that we kind of have Starglass open, I'm going to grab Starglass for the carbon. Staying efficient with how we organize things, always important, as discussed in the tips and tricks section. Edge tends to be big time farms. You just really got to keep your head on a swivel. So when that circle really starts bussing in one of the directions, you can kind of just stick to the edge and grab up all those beautiful farms. Kind of pinwheel rotate it and then clear back into where you already came from. And there should be like at least bots respawning. I think that's a real player squad out, which is really nice. And I do need kills for the Ion. So we're gonna row back this way, and usually I would have more money by now, but it seems a lot of my kills for whatever reason have been a little bit more at range than they usually are, so I haven't had a chance to loot people. These are actual players. Look like they might be a little bit too spread out for me to wipe them though. There is one left in front of me. But I'll deal with close for threat. I hear these footsteps. Okay. I dropped a 60 in this and it was a circle that pulled this way. So sometimes I think my start wasn't good enough, but you do get a good start and it pulls this way. It can lead to great density. Kind of quiet right here though, unfortunately. So we're going to push a little bit further south. So I can get here before they down each other. Oh, I was too late. Sounds like that's another solo quader. He had a huge bag. Beautiful. And big game bounty. I mean, enemy players basically will just shoot each other in the back, right? So you got to keep your head on a swivel even when you're farming bots. Because regaining will cut into your efficiency, obviously. Beautiful. And yeah, mid game is hectic and really farm heavy, so in my opinion it's not really the time to try to set up knife kills. I have a ton of money now. In addition, it's fire sale, so we're definitely going to pop another advanced. Always grabbing bounties, always prioritizing UAVs over any type of kill streak. Kill streaks will steal your kills, just for the same reason we don't grab lethal. Actual lethals, right? I just use the combat axes for cleanups. And we just kind of stay rotating, stay moving. Clear forward and then patrol back the way you came. Pick up the farms. Try not to wipe bot squads. Absolutely wipe real player squads. And that's the general idea. Once this redeploy closes, it's just pedal to the metal, because I don't care about winning, right? I'm known for like tactical dubs and win streaks, clutches, but that's not my focus on this. My focus on this is purely kill density, and the lobby dries up quick after the redeploy closes. So at that point, it's just pedal to the metal. If I lose, I lose. We're on to the next. Even if I do manage to win, you could make the argument it's worth backing out after redeploy closes once you've cleared your immediate vicinity. I mean, it dries up that fast. And it's like a lot of those kills are just sort of like trying to track down players that are hiding in the last zone because people play it like they're trying to win the World Series of Warzone. Hilarious, but it is what it is. So that's why I like to just W key. And I mean, usually they're bad enough that I can still like win. Even brute forcing my way through it like that. Like if there actually was a good team, usually I would have had to deal with them earlier. If that makes sense. So let's try to play this area smart. Actual teams will try to play these kind of head glitches in the back of the map. At this stage of the game, even if they were real players, I wouldn't try to wipe them because I would want them to come back and just give me a little bit more density in the end game. But obviously you don't always have control over whether you wipe. Like sometimes if you want to wipe, they're doing a good job at playing their life. You don't want to wipe, they just kind of force your hand and like send you, and it's not worth dying over keeping a team up ever. You can see how fast this is drying up. Well, and I get pissed on. So yeah, I mean, even with selling the end game, I still drop 45 elims. It's just sheer desync. Hilarious kill cam, but such is Warzone. So I hope that gave you guys a good picture for how to play that out. I probably missed out on like 3 or 4 elims there, and it might have taken me a while to get to all of them. So it really doesn't cut into my efficiency that much. I don't like losing, but that end game, I guess my point is it just doesn't matter that much, guys. You want a W key through the end game. It's very important. Popping advanced UAVs over regular UAVs because you want to know where the lobby is so you can kind of plot out your rotations, okay? And yeah, I hope that gave you a good picture for the rotations. Basically just avoid high surface areas if that makes sense. And yeah, stick to open areas with long sight lines so that you can just farm. Keep your head on a swivel for enemy players. They love a third party. And farm to your heart's content. If you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments and we'll catch you on the next one, Giga fam. Peace.